My boss always joked about my accent during meetings. Last week, I gave a presentation that made him eat his words. For 3 years, Marcus would interrupt my reports with, "Can someone translate, or is that English?" The conference room would shift uncomfortably, but nobody spoke up. I'd restart, speaking slower, hating myself for accommodating his cruelty. I am from Mumbai. My English is impeccable. I speak 4 languages fluently and to Meno code in my sleep, but to Marcus, I was just an accent to mock. Maybe use smaller words, he'd suggest, smirking, for clarity, so I did. I used smaller words, simpler sentences. I dumbed down my brilliance to fit his narrow worldview. Meanwhile, I watched him struggle with basic technical concepts, watched him Google terms, I explained, watched him take credit for solutions I whispered to him before board meetings. Then came the announcement. Our biggest client, a German automotive giant, was visiting. They'd decide whether to renew their $50 million contract based on our presentation. The client's team would be flying in from Munich, Tokyo, and Enjapalo international executives who valued precision over performance. Johnson will handle the technical portion, he announced, pointing at Brad from Iowa, who couldn't code his way out of a paper bag. I stayed quiet. But that night, I prepared my own presentation in English, in German, in Japanese. The morning of the meeting, Brad called in sick food poisoning, he claimed. Marcus turned white. "I'll present," I offered calmly. He had no choice. I walked into that boardroom and greeted each executive in their native language. Their faces lit up. The lead executive from Munich responded in rapid German. Testing me, I answered fluently, discussing technical specifications they actually cared about. Marcus sat frozen as I switched seamlessly between languages, explaining our architecture in Japanese to their Tokyo team, discussing implementation in Portuguese with the Apollo, then summarizing everything in crisp British English for the London observers who joined virtually. "Your accent," the German executive said, smiling. "Mumbai." "Yes, my daughter studies at IT, their Riyadh institution." "Yes, sir, class of 2018. "Exceptional. This is exactly the global perspective we need." For 45 minutes, I didn't just present. I performed a linguistic symphony that Marcus couldn't even follow. Technical terms he'd never bothered to learn flowed effortlessly in 4 languages. The clients asked complex questions. I answered each one, occasionally translating my own responses for Marcus's benefit. "Perhaps Marcus can elaborate on the emphasis infrastructure," the Tokyo lead suggested in English. Marcus opened his mouth. Nothing came out. He looked at me desperately. "What Mr. Anderson means to convey," I said smoothly, "is that our microservices architecture allows for seamless scaling." I then explained what Marcus should have known in English simple enough for him to understand. The contract was renewed on the spot. The German executive insisted I lead the project. HR was notified that all future communications would go through me directly. As the clients left, the Munich executive shook my hand. "Your English is excellent," he said loudly. "So clear and precise. Exerc some native speakers who rely on volume over vocabulary." He looked directly at Marcus. That afternoon, Marcus called me into his office. "That was impressive," he managed. "Would you like me to translate that into smaller words?" I asked for clarity. His face flushed. "I am transferring to the German account," I continued. "They've requested me specifically for Tinley. They value clear communication." I left him sitting there, speechless in the only language he knew. Yesterday, the CEO announced my promotion. He entered technical lead for global accounts. Marcus now reports to me. In our first team meeting, I established new rules. "We celebrate linguistic diversity here," I announced. Brad, one who mocks a colleague's accent, will be invited to present our next client pitch in Mandarin. Marcus hasn't made a single joke since. Turns out I didn't need smaller words. I needed a bigger audience, one that understood that intelligence sounds different in every accent, but ignorance sounds the same in all of them.